Hello students, this is your recorded lecture for the date 16th of September. Today we are starting with a new chapter, that is forms of market. Okay, basically this is chapter number 10. Okay, chapter number 9 was supply, and today we are starting the chapter number 10, that is forms of market. So let us start with the first. First and foremost, beta, what is the definition of market? What does market means? Simply, a market is an effective arrangement for bringing the buyers and sellers into contact with one another in defined as a market. Simple, take the example. It is an arrangement. It can be online also. It can be offline also. You have done online shopping also from various sites, so that is also an arrangement that is considered as online market. Take the example of Amazon, take the example of Flipkart, take the example of Mintra. These all are the example of online websites dealing with sale of goods and that are creating an online market. So a market can exist offline as well as it can exist online. Simple understanding, just write down the definition while listening it. You can pause the video and you can write the definition first of all of market. Okay, so this is the definition of what? This is the definition of word market. Market, simply, again I'm repeating, it's an arrangement for bringing buyers and sellers into contact with one another. Okay, that is simple meaning of market. Now let us move on to the next slide. Next slide says that what are the features of different markets. See, areas can be different market have different areas. Buyers and sellers are different in different markets. Commodity is different in different markets. Maybe, as you can understand from Indore scenario, there is cloth market, there is Sarafa market. There is Sarafa market has been famous for gold jewelry. Okay, there is Chappan market famous for food items. So these are what? These are basically based on the commodity. If what commodity they are dealing, on that basis they have been allotted the name of the market. Similarly, competition. Competition also affects the market scenario, students. So you have to write what are the features of market, on what basis you will bifurcate that this is this market. So first is area, second is buyers and sellers, third is commodity, and fourth is competition. Okay, now moving on to the forms of market. Just make the flowchart for regarding forms of market. See students, in this particular topic, we will be studying these markets: monopoly, oligopoly, monopolistic, and perfect competition. Okay, basically under this chapter number 10, we will be studying 4 forms of market. Is this clear? So make this flowchart in your copy, pause the video and make this flowchart. How many forms of market exist? Again, I'm repeating, there are 4 forms of market. Basically monopoly, oligopoly, monopolistic, and perfect competition. You can make this flowchart by this way also. First of all, market. If in different books there is different classification also. Perfect is there, then it is imperfect, and after imperfect there is oligopoly. Now you will be questioning where is monopoly and monopolistic. Monopoly and monopolistic together are considered imperfect competition. So if I bifurcate imperfect, so here is one is monopoly and another is monopolistic. These are different markets. We will understand the feature of this market one by one. So let us start with first market, that is monopoly market. Now students, first and foremost, divide the word mono and poly. Mono means single and poly means seller. The word itself signifies in this market there is a single seller, okay, and there are multiple buyers. Again, I'm repeating. First feature beta from this particular word only. Mono means single and poly means seller. So mono means single and poly is seller. So it is that market in which there is only a single seller. Think of any market in your mind in which there you can think there is a single seller and there is no other competitor in front of him. There are many markets which are having monopoly. So let us start with the meaning. As I told you, monopoly is already telling first feature of the market, that is single seller. So meaning market situation where there is a single seller of a product and he has full control over the supply of that commodity and has no close substitutes. I already so told you this is that market in which there are no close substitutes, means there are no competitors available in the market. Take the example of Indian Railways. Everybody have traveled in the railway. Is there any other substitute of Indian Railway? It is not, because Indian Railway is the only market where the entrepreneur, or I can say the owner, is government. So government is having monopoly in this market. Similarly, postage and telegram. Now you will say that postage and telegram have the substitutes. See beta, I am saying there are substitutes, but these are not considered as close substitutes. You can say, like the example of railways, that I can go for a flight or I can go for particularly from a bus, but they are not a close substitute of that particular thing. They are only a substitute, and there is difference between substitute and close substitute. Okay beta, so monopoly is clear. Monopoly, a situation, again I'm saying, where there is a single seller, where there is what, there is only a single seller in the market and he has full control over the supply of that commodity. Kindly write down in your copies the meaning of monopoly and also write down the example of the monopoly. Okay, I hope everybody have paused the video and have written the meaning of monopoly. Now let us understand some of the features of monopoly. For easy understanding, I have taken a short form, that is peers. Okay, so P is defining as price differentiation, E is denoting as elasticity of demand, A is absence of close substitute, R is restricted entry, and S is single seller. Now write down this feature in form of flowchart. Okay, so how many features of monopoly we are going to discuss today? Today's lecture we are confining till monopoly only, students. I request all the students to make the notes side by side. You can pause the video and can write the notes. At the end of the session, everybody has to send me the notes copy on my personal window of WhatsApp. Those students who have not sent means they have not listened the recorded session. So every student has to send me the notes after this recorded session. आप सभी को अपने notes लिख के मुझे WhatsApp करने हैं. Clear, students? Okay. Now write down the features again. Short form is beta peers. Peers is what? P is signifying price differentiation, E is elasticity of demand, A is absence of close substitute, R is restricted entry, and S is single seller. Now let us start with first feature, that is price differentiation. See, as a monopolist, you are deciding at what price you will sell the product. So here, monopolist can charge different prices of his product from different persons and in different market areas. Again, as I told you about the example of Indian Railways. So Indian Railways is charging different prices from different customers. Now, you have already heard about that if there is a senior citizen traveling, so the cost the senior citizen has to pay for the ticket is less than a normal adult citizen. So see, service is same. Both are using the same railway. Both are using the same services, but both are paying different prices. That's why इसको क्या बोलते हैं? Price discrimination. Price discrimination. Simple definition, if anyone's ask, is price discrimination means different price charged from different consumers. If you are going to a market, take for the example, seller is charging different price from different customers, then the seller is doing what? Seller is doing price discrimination, students. Seller क्या कर रहा है? Price discrimination कर रहा है. क्यों? Because he is charging different prices from different persons and in the different areas. So this is clear, price discrimination. After price discrimination, let us start with the word E, that was elasticity and shape of demand curve. Now students, आपने revenue curve chapter पढ़ा हुआ है. See here the MR curve and the AR curve. AR curve is denoting here the demand curve. Okay, now the demand curve of what? Of the monopoly, you have to make it in your copies. The demand curve of monopoly is a negatively slope, indicating more can be sold only when the price is low. So what is the case? Understand simple case. What is the case which you are denoting is, agar monopoly person has to sell more, then he has to do what? He has to lower the price, which means which law? Again, here law of demand I am following. Which law I am following, students? Law of demand. Law of demand says what? If you can lower the price, then only you can sell more quantity. So here, talking about the demand curve of monopoly, both the MR curve and the AR curve. AR curve, average revenue curve. MR curve is marginal revenue curve. So both are downward sloping. Secondly, demand curve is less elastic. And demand is less elastic. Why? Because there is no close substitute. अगर क्लोज सब्स्टिट्यूट अवेलेबल होता so demand elastic होती. As I already told you the factors affecting demand curves, if there is no close substitute, that means the demand is less elastic. Just pause the video and make this diagram also. Represent this as y-axis, this as x-axis. Everybody has to make the diagram of demand curve for monopoly also, students. आपको ये diagram बनाना है and you have to note it as AR as well as MR curve, and AR is representing what, beta? AR is representing here the demand curve of the monopoly, and both are downward sloping. Okay, chali. Moving on to the next slide. After PEA, that is, A is representing what? Absence of close substitute. I am the only person, I am the only single seller in the market. There is no competition in the market. The product sold by monopolist has no close substitute, and that's why the firm is facing no competition. And that's why monopolists are known as price maker. क्या बोलेंगे मोनोपोलिस्ट को हम? Price maker. Why we will make them, why we will consider them as price maker? Because they are the single seller. They can decide the price for their product as per their choice. वो अपनी चॉइस के अकॉर्डिंग अपने प्राइस डिसाइड करेंगे, बिकॉज दे आर द सिंगल सेलर. Okay, so if there are no competition, take for the example, आपका कोई competition ही नहीं है मार्केट में, तो आप तो अपने हिसाब से प्राइस चार्ज करोगे ना. For earning huge profit I will charge huge price. But अगर आप huge price charge करोगे, so again quantity will fall because of law of demand. But that's why the monopolist sometimes lower the price in order to increase the quantity. That is the game of monopolist. That's why they are known as price maker. Okay, price maker कौन रहेगा बेटा? Price maker will always be monopolist. Okay, monopolist will be the price maker. Coming to the next feature of monopolist is restricted entry. Now what is the restricted entry? See, they are doing such a business जहां पे entry restrictions हैं. Entry restriction means you are not very much ready to enter in the market because it is very difficult for the person to enter in the market, because abnormal profits are being enjoyed by monopolist. Okay, and as they are enjoying abnormal profit, they have restricted the entry from another person, maybe because of law, maybe because of some investment. Can you start a business of Indian Railways? My question is to you. Your answer can be yes, I can, but I need that much investment. क्या आपके पास इतना huge investment है? So this is the restriction point. There are other restriction points also which are related, and that's why it becomes very difficult. किसके लिए difficult हो जाता है बेटा? It is becoming very difficult for the new firms to enter into monopoly market, and that's why single seller is enjoying huge abnormal profit. सिंगल सेलर क्या कर रहा है? अच्छा खासा abnormal profit earn कर रहा है. Why? Because he is only the single seller, he is only the price maker, he is only deciding at what price he should sell and at what price he should not. Okay, that is R. Now moving on to S. S is what? Single seller. Single seller means he is the single seller of commodity and has full control over the supply of commodity. Okay, जितना supply करना है market में, how much he has to supply, he is only the deciding person. Nobody else will decide. There is no distinction between the firm and industry. Now, what is firm and industry? Take for the example, if there are three firms A, B and C in the market, तो ये तीनों मिला के बेटा वो इंडस्ट्री बनती हैं. आपने सुना है ना, पीथमपुर इज अ इंडस्ट्रियल एरिया. व्हाई? बिकॉज देयर आर मेनी इंडस्ट्रीज. दैट्स व्हाई वहां पे बहुत सारी फर्म्स हैं. सो अल्टीमेटली ऑल द फर्म्स टुगेदर आर कॉल्ड एज इंडस्ट्री. बट अगर वहां पे सिर्फ सिंगल इंडस्ट्री हो, एज दी मोनोपोली इंडस्ट्री, सो वो इंडस्ट्री भी है और वो फर्म भी है. So there is no distinction here between firm and the industry, because he is only a single seller. There is no one in the market to give him the competition. This is the features of monopoly. I hope everybody have noted these all five features of monopoly. Okay, five features of monopoly must be noted by everyone. Is this clear, students? Again, I am repeating what are the features of monopoly. That was peers. Peers may, P is representing what? As you can see in this slide, I am again representing so that you can easily see what was the meaning of PS. P is representing the price differentiation, E is representing elasticity of demand, A is representing absence of close substitute, R is representing restricted entry, and last S is representing single seller. So these are the main features of monopoly. What you have to do, students, today you have to have started with a new chapter, write down the headings and mention the first form of market, that is monopoly, and every features with detailed must be noted, and everyone has to send those features which you have noted in your copy on my personal WhatsApp window. I am ending this session with the features of Monopoly. Thank you, students. Do write the notes of the first market form, that is Monopoly. Everybody shall start making the notes of this chapter.